What's up, everybody? Jody here with
Kendall.
We are the Butcher and the
Florist.
And today we're
going to talk about 11 things you can do as a musician while you're quarantined. In this video, we're going to take you through 11 different tasks that you can do to help out your music career and hopefully make you some money. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk about some really awesome podcasts, some books, and some YouTube channels that you can use to help educate yourself and make you both a better musician and marketer.
Number one. This one's pretty obvious, pretty easy. Just start writing some music. Maybe you've got a bunch of half-finished songs and verses and some choruses, and you just haven't finished them, polished them together. So spend some time, finish those songs, put yourself on a deadline. If you're a writer, write music. If you're a producer,
produce music.
Whatever you do in music, do more of it.
Number 2, live stream those shows. If you're like us, your shit got canceled, so you have a lot of free time to play some music. So there's a couple ways that you can live stream your shows. One of the easiest is to just go on Facebook Live for this. Acoustic is probably best, and you can live stream that way. A better option, which is gonna be a little bit more involved, going on to Twitch. Twitch is mostly known as a gamer site, but it's becoming really popular for musicians because you can make money doing this. You can have a virtual tip jar that's out there. It's a really cool platform. So check out Twitch. You will need some software in order to do your live streams there.
The software you can get online, as long as you've got a decent computer, you can live stream pretty easily. But there's also obviously other platforms. Instagram Live and IGTV is becoming pretty popular as well. So shooting videos and going live on those platforms, there's another way just to reach out to your fans. There's also a couple other free pieces of software. One's called Open Broadcast that will allow you to stream to multiple platforms at once. Also, you can start a Patreon page. You can set your own prices, release content regularly, and you will get paid. You can use Patreon as a way to this is how I write music, or give them access to a little more behind the scenes stuff, not necessarily for releasing music.
Basically with Patreon, you can set up a tier system. So tier 1 could be just $1 threshold, and it would just give access to a certain amount of content, like maybe lyrics that you've written for your new song. A $5 tier might give them a little bit more insight, or maybe they even get downloads when they pay that extra money. And you basically get that income every single month. If someone pledges $5 to you, they're pledging $5 every single month. So you can imagine if you get a lot of patrons that way, that could equal into a generous monthly revenue. That,
in addition to, sometimes you can set it up to where people will pay you $5 every time you release content. So if they pledge $5 and you release 4 things this month, you're actually getting $20 from that person, not just the $5 per month. So if you're able to create regular content and get those subscribers to subscribe to content as it comes out, that's another way to help a few more dollars in your pocket. And number 3, enroll in some online courses.
Yeah. We're big fans of Indiepreneur. They offer online courses for helping you build your brand really as a musician, taking you through, creating kind of viral video content, how to engage with people that are actually interested in your music and turning them from a cold audience into raving fans. So I would definitely start checking out their courses. They're one of my favorites because they're super budget friendly as well. I know now is a time where we're all not making a lot of money as musicians, but the cost to take their programs is pretty generous, and you get a lot of great content for it. Another course that's out there that I've not done personally but heard good things about is Ari Herstand's Spotify growth course. It's a little bit more on the expensive side. He works with an artist named Ludicious, who has something like 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify and is making an income just from his Spotify listeners, and he's running it all through Instagram story ads. And so Ari's course goes into detail about how to set up those ads and targeting and all of that kind of stuff. There are plenty more courses out there. Do your research, make sure you're making smart purchases, look for people who have done these courses before. This might also be an opportunity for you to create your own online course. If you think you have a special skill to offer, sit down, map it out, and then you can get paid money for your skills and services.
Number 4, practice, learn a new skill. Being a musician is a lot more than just writing and recording music. And those are also skills you need to know too. Maybe you want to learn a little bit about recording, compressions, reverb, stuff like that. There's a lot of even free information on YouTube, stuff like that. But also like video editing or some web design. You know, you need a website, you want your website to look good. Now's a good time to start doing some crash courses. I personally have started doing video editing many years ago on iMovie. Now I personally use Premiere Pro, but Final Cut Pro is a really good program as well.
The great thing is there are tutorials for everything. And Premiere Pro is a professional product that if you want to learn to edit videos, you should be using. So why not take this time to really deep dive into it and develop those skills? Another thought is to develop a skill that actually doesn't have to do anything with music, because when the next pandemic comes around, you don't want to be out of work. So maybe use this time and learn something like coding, and that way you have a fallback where you can work from home next time you're quarantined.
Yeah. Number 5, creating social content. We have already touched a little bit on this, but like, you really nowadays need to be very active on a lot of social platforms and stay engaged with your fans and direct them to new content you're creating.
Yeah, it can be so hard to like keep up with creating all this content, that now is the time. Find a cool place to take some photos, pre-schedule all of your Facebook posts for the next month, and then you don't have to worry about it.
So if you don't know, you can make Facebook posts today that won't get released till 2 weeks from now. You can schedule all your posts.
You can also use a site like Hootsuite, which allows you to schedule for multiple social accounts. On some things like Instagram, for example, doesn't really kind of have a pre-scheduling feature, but using Hootsuite and kind of make all those posts in advance. You'll still have to actually physically hit like post to get them into the feed, but you can start planning out all of your social content.
One thing that I've been doing a lot lately is on Instagram, interacting through Instagram stories and asking questions from my fans. Like, I mean, it could just be simple stuff like, what's your favorite M&M flavor, or whatever it is, and just a way to
plain.
I know, isn't she weird? She likes plain. Peanut butter all day, but peanut is also very delicious. But yeah, just like simple things like that. Just something to generate a little bit of back and forth between you and your fans. Number 6.
Use this time to shoot a music video, or create a podcast, or make a web series.
Oh no.
This is a great time to start doing that thing that you've been putting off for a while. Podcasting is huge right now, especially if you have like a niche category that you can talk about. You know, Jody's recently started his podcast, The Bass Nerds, talking all about the bass guitar. So maybe you're really proficient in something, you can talk about it that way. Maybe you're in a very like specific genre of music. That'd be a great podcast to start. You know, you do alt, pop, dark, death metal. Who does that? And also like music videos. There's so many tools right now to shoot a music video on your iPhone. The new iPhones have amazing cameras in them. You don't need to spend money on a fancy camera or anything like that. Get your iPhone out. Find a cool location, use some neat filters from Instagram or something, and you can make your own music video. I think a lot of times as musicians, we let like money and time stop us from being productive. You have the time, you might not have the money right now, so be creative, be resourceful, use this time and be productive.
DIY, think of something really creative and weird. There's tons of apps out there that allow you to edit and put filters on video and stuff like that. Start doing it and start releasing it. Number 7.
Email lists. Do you have one? Because you should. First of all, if you don't have an email list, get that started. Quick and easy way to do it, MailChimp. It's such a user-friendly service, and there's so many great like features and analytics behind it in the free version that there's really no reason not to have an email list. You can probably do one through your website as well. You could also perhaps run contests to get new email subscribers. So maybe you have a new song coming out, they could get a sneak peek on your song or your music video and something in exchange for their email address, so that you can start building up that list and have a way to stay in constant contact with your friends and your fans and stuff, and not have to worry about hoping that they see one of your social posts.
A mailing list all ties into everything we just discussed. So if you're creating, videos and content and writing new music or whatever, this is all stuff you can put in your mailing list to let your fans know you've got new things going on.
Starting your email list is just step one, because step two is you have to email the people on your mailing list.
Yeah.
So maybe you already have one going, maybe it's been ignored for a while. This is the time, send them out a fun email. People are stuck at home, they're just surfing the web, they're on their computers and their phones all the time right now. Take advantage of that. Maybe you could even email out a sale to some merchandise that you have on your website, generate some income. And if you want to join our email list and see what we send out, maybe
link.
you'll even get a link to some sales on our merch. Then you can go ahead and click below.
Because we've got merch. We got hats, we got hoodies, cell phone cases. Number 8, you need to research for your next release.
Start that now. One thing that we do, and this should be a couple months in advance of your release, is we start compiling a list together of all the blogs that we're going to submit our music to. But it goes farther than that. We don't just put the list together of blogs. We go into the blogs, we look for similar artists and who wrote about them. So we know exactly who we need to contact at each of the blogs that we think is going to, actually open the email and listen to our music, which is half the battle.
Right.
Now we have a previous video, which I'm going to annotate somewhere over here, where we actually give away the list of all the blogs that we work with or that we send music to. And you can get that for free by checking out that video. But in addition to all these blogs, you also want to start thinking about collecting contacts for YouTube channels. So build up your YouTube database. Start looking for Spotify playlists that you want to get your music on. A lot of those are user generated, and we'll have a video coming soon that's going to talk a little bit more about how to get your music onto Spotify playlists. But the user generated ones, basically you just need to email them. A lot of them will have some contact information. Be prepared that you usually do have to pay to get your music onto these playlists. But start looking now for where you think your music is going to be a great fit. And then start researching which distributor you want to use. There's so many out there, CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, all of them. Make sure that you have all of that lined up.
You want your release to reach as many people as possible. So you're already going to send it to all the people on the mailing list that you did in the last step, and you put it on your Facebook and your social medias and all that stuff. But you really want to capture new fans, right? That's what this is all about. So what you need is to get on the blogs and get on some YouTube channels and get the proper distribution out there so your stuff gets in front of a lot of new faces, a lot of new listeners.
The reason to do this research now is because it takes a really long time. We submit our music to probably close to 200 blogs, and it took us a really, really long time to put together that full list. Right. And considering that you might release music in different styles, you might have multiple lists that you'll have to research for each style of music that you release. So do that now so that, 3 months from now, when you're ready to release that song, you have all of your homework done, your marketing structure in place.
Right.
9.
That's 9. Support music and arts, support your fellow musicians, bands, people that you like to follow. People still need to pay their rent, and guess what? A lot of you are going to be sitting at home or working from home, and you're going to be listening to this music, right? So maybe now is the time to buy a little bit of that merch, send them a few bucks, and let them know that you're there. Let them know that you're listening and that you support what they do.
Even if you don't have a way to financially give to some of your favorite artists, you can still support them by boosting their social metrics. Go follow them on all of their platforms. Stream their music, right? That's a way that you can generate a little baby bit of income for them while not doing anything. Instead of listening to the big names like Beyonce, go listen to that small independent artist that doesn't have a lot of streams and a lot of followers. Number 10. So we all need money now, right? We all need some money. So here's a way that you can hopefully make some extra money on the side while you're stuck at home. As long as you have a decent recording setup, get on SoundBetter, get on AirGigs. These are websites that allow you basically to offer your musician services remotely. So if you're a guitar player, someone can hire you to play guitar on their tracks. If you're a singer, you can sing. If you're a producer, you can produce. Whatever musical service you can offer, you can monetize it.
We've used SoundBetter a lot to hire producers to help kind of polish our music. In addition to that, you can, if you're a musician, a guitar player, bass player, whatever it is, you can offer Skype lessons. And it's a way to generate some decent income, because you can give a Skype lesson for $40 or $100. Some of these, really high level players are giving Skype lessons at a pretty premium price, and people are happy to play it to learn music from their idols. So
that's not you though. People are still willing to pay money for
$40
lessons.
or whatever.
Kids for sure that are stuck at home right now, they're not in school.
Yeah.
That may be a really great option at marketing your lessons towards kids, because parents are going to be looking for something to do with their kids.
Number 11. There we go. 11. This is for our actual playing musicians, guitar players, drummers, maintaining your gear. Guitar players, now's the time to restring your instrument, do setups, repair, swap out pickups you've been waiting to put in, or new tuners, something like that. The big one is cleaning your fretboard and your frets. Get some quadruple O steel wool and get all the gunk off of your fretboard. Just rub it like crazy, maybe oil it up if it needs oil, clean it, get all the grime off of there, replace any parts that have been giving you issues, input jacks, stuff like that. Drummers, you can put new drum heads on, make sure you've got all your felts and all the protective gear for your cymbals is pretty crucial. If you're an engineer, a producer, make sure all of your outboard gear is working and it's not cracking, and spraying stuff down with contact cleaner is pretty big if you're getting a lot of static and noise when you turn knobs. Just go through your gear even too. I mean, every year I throw away half a dozen microphone cables because they stop working or start causing me problems. So if you're a little unsure of how to do things, again, YouTube is your friend.
So as I promised, guys, here is some helpful books, some podcasts and stuff to help you just jump right in. Firstly, I want to shout out Ari Herstand's How to Make It in the New Music Business. This is the second edition, I think. He's a pretty awesome guy with lots of great information, so definitely check this out. It's pretty much everything you need to know the new music Bible. Great podcasts out there. The Creative Juice. You can listen to all of these on Spotify. This is put out by the Indiepreneur team. The DIY Musician Podcast. The Music Industry Blueprint. This is Rick Barker's podcast. He was the former manager of Taylor Swift. Song Exploder is a good one.
Shake it off.
YouTube channels out there. Burstimo is probably my favorite channel when it comes to learning about the music business, how to grow your fan base, all of that stuff. They have such amazing content out there that is really easy to apply. Make Pop Music is great if you want to learn more about how to produce music. It is mostly geared towards, pop, EDM, hip hop and stuff like that, but there's still some really useful tutorials for everybody, how to record vocals, how to treat your room. So check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Links to all the resources that we talked about are below. You can join our mailing list below as well. And always feel free to reach out if you guys have questions, or if you have an idea of something that would be really beneficial for everybody else to hear, put it in the comments.
Let us know what you think. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, buy some merch from the butcher and the florist, all that fun stuff.